Hey everyone, what is up? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. This week we're going to be talking about something we've covered a little bit before, but with a lot of people the past few months getting their first snake, we've been asked this a lot, so wanted to kind of cover it again. The question we've been getting is, what is the right starter snake for me? Now in this episode we're going to be talking about corn snakes versus ball pythons, but there are a lot of other starter snakes that you can go with. We're just going to be kind of narrowing our focus down to these two snakes. So right off the bat, if we're looking at purely from a care perspective, I'm going to tell you corn snakes are easier for a lot of reasons that we're going to talk about. The cool thing about both species is they both come in a variety of different colors. With corn snakes, most of those colors are going to be a lot more affordable than they are with ball pythons, just depending on what you're looking for. There's some beautiful ball python morphs that are under $300 you can get, and with corn snakes you can get almost anything outside of just a few different things for that price. So it just kind of depends on what colors you want and what you want out of it. From a care perspective, corn snakes are gonna be easier. They live in the United States, so they're native to here, which just makes everything easier. They're not as sensitive to temperature. They eat frozen thawed better than any species I've ever worked with. Usually we can take a baby corn snake and have it on frozen thawed its first meal. Pretty much most our corns eat frozen thawed for their whole life. We never need to supplement it with live. Where ball pythons, I can't think of a single snake I've had for a ball python or that I've worked with in my other jobs that ate frozen thawed its whole life. So if you're saying I don't want to have to ever feed live, I would go with a corn snake. Ball pythons, when it comes to care, I'm going to label them more as intermediate. Now a lot of people start with them and will tell you they can be a great starter snake, but the care has to be a little bit more specific to them. They are exotic, they come from Africa, so you're going to need to create an environment that is similar to what they live in nature. They're a lot more susceptible to illnesses, respiratory illnesses, particularly ball pythons are susceptible to. So it's something you have to really be on top of, is making sure that everything is perfect. They're picky on temperature, they can have bad sheds, a little bit picky on humidity, but not too bad. And you really got to watch out for those respiratory illnesses. That's something to kind of take into consideration, is they're going to be a little more fussy when it comes to feeding. They're going to have a little bit more specific temperature requirements than corn snakes will. So ball pythons do a lot better in a tub setup. You can keep them in glass aquariums, but they do stress very easily. And as we say all the time, if a snake is stressed, well, it's not going to eat, because snakes don't have hands or anything to defend themselves with outside of their mouth. So if a snake is eating, it cannot defend itself. So that's really why if they're nervous at all, they're not going to eat, and ball pythons get nervous really easily. So you can keep them in glass aquariums, but if that's something you really want to keep it in, is a big terrarium, I'm going to say a corn snake is most likely going to be easier to keep for you. And then going into the colors, which we touched on, ball pythons have more morphs than anything I can think of in the reptile world. There are all kinds of options. You can get bananas which have purples and yellows on them, absolutely stunning, and those are going to be around $200 to start out with. You have some really beautiful affordable morphs. $300 you're looking at for a pied, sometimes a little cheaper. Pastels, which you can get $50, $75, that are really nice depending on the quality of that pastel. They range all the way up into the tens, 20s, and 30,000s of dollars. Corn snakes, like I was saying before, most of the combinations tend to be a lot cheaper than ball pythons. You have some really cool color options. You even have palmettos, which are a little more pricey, but it's similar to like a cow retic in appearance. Really, really beautiful snakes. You have scaleless corns, and pretty much you can find any corn snake for under $1,000, with almost every corn snake falling below $250, $300 for the most part. If you want to get something a little crazier color-wise and you're on a budget, corn snakes can suit you really well. When it comes to adult size, corns and ball pythons are both looking at about 4 to 5 feet. Corn snakes are going to stay a lot more slender bodied, where ball pythons are a lot more of a stout, robust, chubby snake. Corn snakes are also much more active, which is the other side that I kind of warn people with them. You're getting this for your kid and you're going to be working with them on it. If your kid sets that corn snake down, that snake can escape very, very, very easily and can cover a lot of space very quickly. Where a ball python, they move really slow. They don't tend to do a lot. With kids and stuff, ball pythons can be a little bit easier because they don't move as quick. For some people, it also makes them less afraid. If you're still a little bit nervous about snakes, that's something to take into consideration. So to close, guys, both these species are awesome. Corn snakes are going to be a little bit easier when it comes to care and feeding, but they're also going to be a little bit more hyperactive when it comes to handling. Both can be awesome for you and make awesome pets. I've kept both, still keep both, love them both. So it's really up to you guys and what suits you and your family best. Thank you guys for watching. And hey, if you guys enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you next week. Until then, stay sophisticated.